Hi there, it's the Hitman here from moviesloths.co.uk, and I'm going to give you a 2-minute review of the science-based film I, Origins. Now, I, Origins is an independent 2014 American film written, directed and produced by relative newcomer Michael Cahill, and it clocks in at a not too tardy 1 hour 46 minutes. Now, in my view, the process of scientific research has never really been captured that well in the world of film. The actual working life of a boffin is just a bit too repetitive and monotonous to keep viewers' attention. So often films like, say, A Beautiful Mind or The Imitation Game, they often resort to cliched montages to show the science happening, before the hero suddenly solves the problem in a moment of inspiration. Eureka! Sadly, it's just not the way real science happens. Now, refreshingly, I, Origins is actually the first film I've seen that shows research in a fairly realistic way, and I applaud the film for that. We follow a scientist called Dr. Ian Gray, played by Michael Pitt, who recently cropped up as a baddie in Hannibal. Now, Dr. Gray is a bit of a scientific oddball, and he's obsessed with the patterns of people's eyes, and he takes photographs of their eyes with everyone he meets, including a lady wearing a mask that he meets at a party. Now, this lady sneaks off after seducing him without even giving him her mobile number, and he's pretty pissed off about that. So he decides to try and track her down purely from this photograph of her eyes. Something you'd think would be impossible, but this is the idea behind the film. Can fate and serendipity compete with and overcome logic and scientific rigour? It's an interesting idea. At the same time as he's out partying, Dr. Gray is also researching genetic evolution in the laboratory with his attractive female PhD student, played by Britt Marling. And they start to stumble on a research idea that could prove categorically how the eye evolved from the earliest life forms on Earth. And they decide to try and find a living creature with this genetic evidence which they're looking for. And this is a bit like looking for a needle in a haystack, because there's so many animals that could possibly have this genetic information. So you've got these two strands with these ridiculous searches going on in parallel, and they're both sort of equivalent. And that's quite interesting themes. You've got science and research competing with spirituality and even reincarnation. It's quite an intriguing mix. The film isn't perfect, it's a bit badly paced, and it does drag a little bit in some areas. However, it does depict obsession, science, love and life in a melting pot of ideas. It's sort of like a scientific fairy story, and that story is stuck in my mind. I really liked it. And so the Hitman is going to give it a worthy 8 scientific bullets out of 10. It's probably not for everyone. If you don't like slow, meandering films with not a lot happening, you might not like this. You might give it, say, 5 out of 10. But I did like it. You've been listening to The Hitman from moviesloths.co.uk, and that was your 2-minute review of I, Origins. See you soon.